Hey guys! So this is this week's longer video, and I want to talk to you about something that I do way too much and I shouldn't, and that's saying sorry. All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this topic, please don't forget to click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and that little bell is really helpful because it will send you notifications anytime we post video. So consider doing that. We'd very much appreciate it. Occasionally, we are asked about ways that people can support our channel. Of course, watching these videos does that as well. But if you are looking for something else, we do have a GoFundMe to support the family with all of the ups and downs of cancer, and that link is showing up somewhere up here right about now. Okay, so one thing that I do, and I think I've always done it, but more so since I was first diagnosed with cancer, is saying sorry to things that I don't need to say sorry about. And it really, really bugs Josh, like beyond belief, and I just can't do it. I haven't figured out a way to stop. And as I've been kind of thinking about it, especially over the last couple days as I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about in this video, I think it all comes down to a feeling of guilt that I have and that I hold really close since these diagnoses, because I feel like I'm a burden in a lot of ways. And intellectually, I know that's not the case. But emotionally and somewhere deep inside, it definitely feels that way. That there's a lot of things that I can't do anymore. And some of those things, because I can't do them anymore, the rest of the family doesn't do them anymore, or we don't do them as often. And I feel really, really guilty about that. Sometimes it's that I can't do other things to help the family out, or what, and I have to ask for help, and I feel like that's a burden on them. And in some cases maybe it is, but I still shouldn't feel guilty about it. There's nothing I can do differently to change the fact that I have cancer, and that limits some of the things that I can do. But emotions are really hard, and even though I shouldn't feel guilty about it, I still do. So some of those things, like one really big thing that we used to do as a family, and this has really only just been the last year that it's impacted me, is we used to all go snowboarding together. That every winter, our family as well as Josh's parents would go up almost on a weekly basis to the mountain and go snowboarding. And since the cancer has gotten into my bones, I've been advised by my doctors that I really shouldn't do that, because just one fall, even if in the past it wouldn't have been a big deal, it could cause me to break something. And, the hope is that that's not going to be the case, but essentially he's like, no, you need to not do that, because, you don't want to end up with a broken hip or a broken back or whatever. And that's really hard, because Josh doesn't want to go without me because he would feel guilty that I'm left behind. But I feel guilty that he and the kids aren't getting to experience this because I can't. And so that one's definitely a double-edged sword, because it's hitting us both. And I know we're both really bummed about it, but we really also haven't talked about it a whole lot. The most recent one was, I was like, hey, Josh, you and Brayden could go up. I could stay home. I'm a built-in babysitter now. I can stay, home with Rayla. And his response to that was, well, yeah, but I don't want you to have to stay home alone. Like, what if something happens when you're alone at home with the baby? And I'm nowhere near that far gone, I guess, I don't even know if that's a good way to put it. But his fear is that, well, what if I tripped and I fell? Same issue. If I fall, I could break something, and then I'd be home alone with our toddler and have no one there to help me. And I don't think that's as likely as me getting hurt snowboarding, but I didn't realize how worried he has been of me just being alone. Which is another thing I now kind of feel guilty about, because I feel like he feels like he can't go out and do something and enjoy things on his own. Now, that being said, a lot of our marriage has revolved around us always doing things together, just either me or him or the whole family. Like, we don't want to go on a vacation where our kids are left behind. Um, we are going to have way more fun if the kids are there. So that one's not quite as big of a deal. But yeah, the fact that he just doesn't want me to be left alone for the majority of a day, um, that's a tough thing for me to swallow. One, because, sometimes being alone is a good thing, and, having time to yourself is a good thing. But he should also feel like he doesn't have to be here, and he doesn't. I wish he wouldn't worry as much. But I can't change his emotions at all. I can reassure him as much as I'd like, but as soon as I have a tough day where maybe I'm hurting more than normal, he's going to worry more too. So there's that. Um, yeah, it's a really, really tough thing. And I know Josh had done, a really sweet video about how, my partner's losing her independence. And it really, really feels like that. It feels like I can't really do things on my own these days. I don't drive as much because with all the medication that I'm on, I get really, really tired. And it's not really safe for me to drive if I'm on the medication. And if I don't take my medication, then I hurt. So, that's also double-edged sword there. I have to make those choices. And it doesn't feel fair. There, I said it. It's not fair. And I wish it's like I feel like I'm a kid again, where it's like the world's not fair. And then your parents tell you, well, yeah, life's not fair. And yeah, wow, is that true? It's really not. Um, yeah, so life is not fair. It's not. And I know a lot of you who are watching have felt those feelings as well because you or a family member are also going through cancer or have gone through cancer or other chronic illness. And man, life's a bitch. But we're here, so, so that's good. So what I need to work on, and I challenge you guys to work on as well, is to not say sorry as much for things that you can't control and enjoy the time that you have. And I think what I need to do is try and figure out ways that we can still enjoy our time and do things together as a family. Like maybe we can't all go snowboarding, but maybe there's something else that we can do that might be similar. Maybe maybe it's just like driving up to the mountain and maybe going sledding. Maybe I wouldn't sled, but I could still be there, and that's a little bit more doable because everything's a little more contained than being up on a mountain and going all over with snowboarding. So there are alternatives, and I or we as a family need to try and figure those things out. And, I need to stop saying sorry. And usually when I say sorry, it's something so stupid. It's like Josh asks a question about if something has been done, or, and I'll be like, no, I haven't gotten to it. I'm sorry. And he's like, I was just asking the question. You don't need to say sorry about it. Like it wasn't an expectation that it already be done. He was just curious if something had been completed. And so it's things like that. So one, I'd love to hear if any of you guys have experienced something like this. And so that I don't feel like I'm the only one. I'm sure I'm not. But yeah, so one, I was thinking really hard, like, what would I name this video? And the first thing that popped into my head is sorry, not sorry, because that feels like it's my life. That even if I say that I'm going to stop saying I'm sorry, then I'm going to apologize about not saying sorry. So sorry, not sorry seemed like a really, really fitting title. But it's also, this whole video is also that I feel like I'm a burden and I need to grow up and realize that in some cases maybe I am, but I can't control that, and I shouldn't feel guilty about it because I have no control over the fact that I have cancer. And I can wish and I can hope and I can do my medications and all of that. And that's all I can do. I cannot wish this away. Wish I could. I bet we all wish we could. But we can't. We do what we can. And yeah, so that, I think, is all I have for you today. I appreciate you guys so much. Your comments and getting to respond to them every day brings joy to my life. And I so much appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you haven't already and you've made it all the way through this video, click that like button. It really helps us. And your comments, of course, help as well. All of that engagement are great ways that you can support any content creator on YouTube by showing your engagement. So for now, I wish you all the very best and make good choices, be kind. Thanks, guys.